on MWABUNDUSI land squatters in Kisii County. I suppose they are here. Please go on record. Introduce yourselves.
My name is Philip Wachiki, representative from MWABUNDUSI.
Very good.
My name is John Kebaso from ONYONKA.
Very good. You are most welcome to the Senate. It is within your rights to petition the Senate, and we are ready to proceed and prosecute your petition. I'll first allow the Senator for Kisii to make some intervention.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to say that the two individuals are actually known to me, and the matter you have your seized on is also known to me.
Very well. We shall greatly rely on your local knowledge on the matter, but promise to be as impartial as we can. If there are any written submissions that you would want to make to this committee, you could circulate them so that we are able to follow. If you are making oral submissions, you could tell us so that we can guide on how to proceed. Are you making oral submissions, or you have written submissions?
We can make oral submissions, Chair. There was a document we served in relation to this. I brought it personally 17th April. I don't seem to, someone has told me it's not with you. I would propose that maybe we run a copy after this meeting, after oral presentation.
Can that copy be found somewhere so that you're able to follow?
It was the same one you presented?
Yeah, this same one. It was received here, this one.
It was received by the Senate?
Yes.
When?
On 17th of April.
That should be 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm imagining that we may not be able to follow really without that document.
Yes.
But let's try. How long do you intend to take so that you're able to determine how we shall proceed?
Chair, maybe depending on how much you want to engage us, and I can see you are
No.
very busy.
First of all,
Yes.
your submissions yourselves.
We'll take basically 10 minutes. I don't have much to.
That's fair. Then proceed.
Actually, what is before the committee is an issue of land by MWABUNDUSI. If you can have this copy, I have a copy of it. MWABUNDUSI was, our group was...
Maybe on your file, please
Yes.
look at the pink, for the members. Mine is pink. Is this not pink? Yes, on the pink marker on your file, you can be able to at least get to follow what is happening. Proceed.
Yeah, Chair. Our parents were removed from the land where the current land is located. I've been able to give you a copy of the land, the current land, and as a result of that relocation, you look at the last page of this, it will show you that we are staying at the riparian area. At that photograph, there's a house there, there's a girl fetching water, there's also someone washing clothes. I'm sorry I was not able to make enough copies for you. So we want to say that we are staying at the riparian area, having been moved from where the Kari land is. Our contention with the Kari, this is a matter that was even before the Senate in 1963. We have done that letter. It is there in the copy we are talking about. Senator Kebaso, the then Senator for the larger Kisii, had written a letter to the regional government about the land issue, the one we're talking about, MWABUNDUSI. If I can read, the Senator Kebaso, Dear Box 522 Kisii, dated 1st February 1963. The regional government, he says, I feel it is my duty as a senator And as one who thoroughly understands the problem of the Kisii people, to bring to your attention the following. One, I cannot understand, and no reasonable person can either understand why the Kisii veterinary farm should not be returned to the original owners, since it is serving no useful purpose, since the land was set aside. I want you to take the earliest action to consult the Minister for Agriculture as soon as possible about this matter. Two, no sincere person can tolerate to see people like Naftali Openda, Christopher Mogaka, Atogo Mogaka, and others live by the riverside when the land taken from them is just idling, doing nothing, when the owners are lacking land to produce enough food for their children. This is a very urgent indeed. This is very urgent indeed, and calls for your earliest attention. Senator Kebaso. Let me also read the reply to that letter so that the rest we can proceed from the documents. This is from the regional government Kisii, 18th October 1963, to Senator Kebaso, PO Box 522. Reference, Kisii Experiment Station. I have passed a copy of your letter to the regional agriculture officer for reply to you direct. The formation of the experimental station is a matter of policy at the national level. However, I feel I must let you know that I'm most surprised that you should try to use your influence to close down the experimental station of this type at the present stage of Kenya's development. It is a most retrograde action. It is suggested that before putting serious proposal, you should find out what the station will be used for the agricultural department. Now this is where we are. Regarding the persons you name, if they are short of land, I suggest they apply for plots in the next sorting settlement. Actually, now this is where our problem started. We were moved from the Kari land. We were supposed to be given land somewhere in the sorting settlement scheme. It never happened. We are still staying in the riparian land, just as this letter was saying, and the reply is also saying the same. If you look at the photograph, which I think we'll be able to circulate, this is the Kari land. So the whole of the Kari land is about 300 and something acres. But if you critically look at it, and I believe, Chair, maybe you would pay us a visit, you will find that this land is not being utilized. It's supposed to be used for experimental purposes. But there's nothing happening on that. We haven't taken photographs of bananas. These are just the trees and the bushes. So this land is lying idle. And our people are staying by the riparian river. This meeting has come at a better time when we are having an issue with the riparian settlements. Right now, our children will not be able to build on this because we are staying in the riparian. You can see there is already a river flowing. Nobody will be able to build on the riparian land. There is also an issue that cropped up. There is a letter from the Kari about the recovery of Kisii land. When we are talking about the recovery of Kisii land, it means this land was also enclosed by some people. We have indicated the Director Kari is talking about the status of land. This is a letter which was written to the County Commissioner Kisii. He's also proposing they want to be given a title. As we are talking, we have also moved a step. We went to the National Land Commission. We have to be very sincere. When we approached them, they told us the land, the Kari land, has not been allocated to anybody. The Kari has no title to this land. There was a case in court between the Kari and the Honorable Kangwana. Yes, thank you. So this matter, Kari maintained they have 83 acres of land. It was given to them. So this is part of the land that Kangwana wanted to take. So when we went to the National Land Commission, they said Kali does not have a title or a lease. So we are also saying if they don't have a lease and this land was taken from us, how much does the Kali want? Alternatively, if by the letter from the 1963 letter, if we can be given some land somewhere, we are also bleeding. You know, our children will not be able to build anywhere. The rains are coming and we are going to be evicted. Because the police will be told, evict those people. They will not be talking about this because this letter and this complaint will not be there. The police will come and they will evict us. We are staying in the riparian area. So, Chair, we would be happy with your concurrence if you could visit this place. Look at the land, see the development that is there. In fact, if you go to this letter, the Director Kari is saying they do not have land for experiment. But if you come to the site and look at the land, it's expansive. Our sublocation, this land is not in use. We are not even allowed to graze. That is the problem. So we have come to the Senate. We really want to indulge you, my honorable senator. If you can come to Kisii, look at this land, look at the letter and say they don't have where they are going to take experiment. Look at what is happening on the ground. You can see there's also a photograph on the page 1. On page 1 of that photograph, this is the Kisii bottlers. The Kisii bottlers was built right on the Kali land, which means this land was again given out against the original idea and purpose of experimentation.
Point of information, Chair.
I would,
Just an addendum.
Yeah, if you indulge me, Chair, Senator,
Yes.
because you shall be the second to speak,
Okay.
we shall allow you to give us the facts.
I just wanted it to be on the Hansard, that information that the Coca-Cola bottlers is actually a company owned by the Nyachai family. I thought that should be important so that you have that information.
Thank you for the support. So the factory which was built there, it's no longer there. The machines were removed and taken elsewhere. So what we are saying, the original purpose why land was set aside and our families were removed to the riparian river is not the same purpose upon which is on the ground now. Besides that, this land is not in use. Maybe Kali did not need this land. Or if they need the land and it is a public entity, we support it. Can they take as much as they want? Because you cannot have 300 acres of land, you are located at the 3, you don't have a site, you don't have a lease, you don't have a title, you don't even allow corporate social responsibility, allow your neighbor even to graze animals. They have stationed guards there, you cannot even touch it. So, to be brief, so that the senator can comment, we are saying, we know the senator has that power. We are crying, don't have land. We are saying, if you can give us at least something, even if you decided to give us 100 feet along the road of that land, 100 feet, so that the families can be able to build. This land is over 1 kilometer around. Give us even 100 feet here, so to talk about burial to check up at you. We shall say thank you.
Very well, you have stated your case. I will allow the senator to build or use his local knowledge to...
Chair and colleagues, thank you very much. Mr. Ndubi and Mr. Kibaso are people I personally know. This matter, it's true, has been historical. In fact, on top of what they have raised, Chair, what you may not know is that the prison's land, where the prison is held in Kisii County, that was actually my grandfather's land, where my grandfather, after his father was released from Manyani, and my grandmother's political detainees, they were then brought back to Kisii and they settled on that land. And then after that, the government, then colonial, because they were released in 1942, decided to make that place as a prison because they couldn't release my great-grandfather to go home because they had to rehabilitate him because he was making the Kisii people carry spears and they were taking a lot of bangi and there was a lot of noise in the fighting against the Muzungus. In fact, that is when a Mzungu called Northcote Nyaligoth was then speared and he died. So there's a historical issue about this land. Number two, I want to congratulate my leaders here because what they have brought is really what our job should be. They're bringing a matter that is historical. They feel that historically there's been an injustice. My recommendation would be that the Senate will give them a hearing, and like they have the recommended chair, I would really want to plead with you. And these issues are just not only in Kisii. You can even start from Bomet, you go down to Kisii, you can go to Migori and Homa Bay, so that you can create a loop so that this committee can visit. If you don't visit, you can't understand what he's saying. The only thing I wanted to say is that, one, the reason why the National Land Commission wouldn't want to be engaged in this matter is because Kari, which has got the largest piece of land within the CBD, about 1 kilometer from the CBD of Kisii town, is that actually this land has been used for research. The institute has about, is it about 100 employees?
Yes.
Yeah, the Kari village, where Kenya Agricultural Research Institute used to be, now I think it's called Kaldro, if I'm not wrong. So there are government officers there who stay there. There's a complex, which coincidentally again was actually built by my father, who was then Minister for Technology at those Moi days. So there's a whole story that they would like to tell. My suggestion is that the committee makes a decision to visit and they will come. It is not a typical dispute. It is just a matter of correcting a historical injustice which has been there. My feeling is they would want to be compensated, and I leave that to the committee and the chair to make a decision as we move ahead. So the only special request I make is that your committee chair makes a deliberate decision to go to the ground, because then you will see the complexities of what they are talking about.
Thank you very much, Senator. I want to ask Senator Kavindu, then Senator Ogola.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Mine is just a straightforward question. When your forefathers were moved from Kari, where Kari is, they were promised a land to be allocated to Sotik,
Yes.
and which did not happen. What happened to Sotik, the land that they were supposed to be settled, that you are now living in a repellent land? That's my question, Chair.
Very well, that is straightforward. Senator Beatrice, then Senator Matinka.
Yeah, Chair, I want to start by telling the petitioners that Senator Onyonka is somebody who is always shouting about the injustices in Kisii, and not only limited to land. Chair, I wanted to just get it clear. At the time of this initiation of formal agreement, was it about resettling or compensation? They can only be two. And I wanted to know, was it a compulsory acquisition? Then what was the formal agreement? Then we can pick from there. Chair, when we refer to this land as idle and with no title deed, sometimes when you get to research institutions, idle is very relative. I once dealt with an Isipe, vast land in my sub-county. And they would tell you their research sometimes is about that idle land. You see, what we think about idle land, what they do about their insects, about their research, sometimes is very relative. So we just want to know, was the land acquired compulsorily? Then what were the formal agreements? Was it resettlement or compensation?
Senator Matinka.
Thank you very much, Chair. And let me also thank the petitioners for trusting us as a committee in the Senate that will get to the logical conclusion of this matter. Chair, my question does not go to the petitioners, but would be a player to us as a committee
This, what they described, replays the scenario in Wambogo farm in Nyeri that was taken over by the government in the 60s with the promise they are going to be compensated or resettled, which has not happened today. The most unfortunate thing, Share, is that 20 years ago a decision was made by the court. The owners were awarded a certain amount of money. As we are talking now, the amount is moving into billions. I think as a committee, maybe we should, as we are dealing with this one, we should take the matter up so that we also save the government a lot of money and the families a lot of pain, because it indeed, they did give their land freely, and now that they have to keep on fighting through court battles, it is quite unfortunate. So, Chair, I think it's a challenge that we should take up and take this opportunity to address all those other institutions where land was taken or given by families which have not been compensated, so that we wholesomely deal with that once and for all. Thank you, Chair.
Very well. Senator Maruma.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the two gentlemen from Kisii and the Senator for having confidence with the Senate. This is not the first time Kisii is coming to the Senate. The last Parliament Chair, we went to Kisii County because they wanted to excise 120 acres of Nyangweta forest to build a factory. No, it was a factory, sugar factory. I don't know whether it has been built or not, but at least we supported the county, and I know there are so many dynamics in the politics that maybe made the factory not to be built. This is a straightforward matter, Chair, that people are removed, and where they're living now, they're not supposed to be there. You are not supposed to live in riparian land. If that land is available, it's the responsibility of government to give their people land. So I think we'll pursue this matter, and especially if the land is not titled, it's not registered under anyone, we really should be able to get that land. So we'll pursue it. And if it is possible, Chair, let's go back to Kisii again.
Thank
the
you
other
very much.
time we were only three with the engineer Godana Argura of Marsabit, and I think Senator Abshura Alak and me. So let's go to Kisii again.
Very well. It's an invitation, Senator, for Kisii, that members seem to really support that we come to Kisii. We will not promise the petitioners that we shall direct that you graze on that land as it is now. But we need, because we need to establish the ownership of that parcel of land. There are two issues that are contested. First of all, whether that Kari has ownership document for that land, whether Kari owns 300 acres or 83 acres, whether that land is originally owned by these five families, and what became of the arrangement that give us this land. We shall give you some other land, some other land somewhere. So, Senator, for this is a very straightforward matter. It's not really as complex as the one that we have dealt with this morning. We want to commit as a committee that we shall do justice to this particular petition. We shall endeavor to try and come to Kisii so that we understand the matters on the ground. We want to dissuade you, the petitioners, do not judge land that is either idle or not idle, because it is for the owner to choose how to. I mean, if it's decided to deal with absentee landlords, you know what would happen in this republic. Just around here, opposite Kenyatta University, you see large tracts of land, bigger than what you're talking about, within the Nairobi metropolitan, and it's just idle, and we are struggling with where to settle people. So if we were to settle people on the, idle land, it is there, and many people would suffer. I want to allow the Senator of Kisii to make the closing remarks, because
I want to thank all of you, my colleagues and my brothers. It is true, it was actually acquired through government compulsory acquisition. I would want, though, that when you are setting up to go and visit the site, I'm sure the land registrar in Kisii, the National Land Commission, and all the involved parties would have to be asked to give you a preamble on basically what the history of this piece of land is. The question that I remember Senator Mama Beatrice asked was whether there was a resettlement which was supposed to be done in Sotik. The reason is Sotik is the area where the Kisii settlement scheme was actually allowed to be, the community bought the land around Chebilat, southwards towards Kisii. And this team was supposed to have been taken there for resettlement. But somehow, you know, this corruption thing, it started even those days. So the guys who are supposed to have given their families the land acquired that land for themselves. And those records are most probably going to be available. But there's a likelihood that already went, it was a first registration, you cannot reverse it through courts. So logically then, I want us, and your committee chair, and I know you have the capacity, to do a comprehensive analysis and evaluation so that we can try and correct this issue if it's an injustice, and I believe it is, so that then you can have this community move on peacefully without that issue. Secondly, Chair, my prayer to you is that, and I know it's very difficult because like you, I share committees with you and my colleagues are always having other committees to be, you need now to visit some of these counties. Some of the land questions which are there. You remember what Mheshimiwa, my senator, has said about, what did you call that piece of land? Wambugu Farm. You are not talking about Wambugu Farm. You have Nyamakima, you have Nyakinywa, you have, there are like 16 land buying companies here, Kinembakasi Ranching. I think your team now needs to really get engaged on those issues so that you can try and disentangle some of the noise and the hate that has come out of the land question. Otherwise, Chair, thank you. That is the best I would say, and I want to thank these wazes are retirees. They have been working in the civil service. One of them is a teacher, and I've known them for very, very many years as very outstanding and good community members. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. We shall gather as much facts as we can. Maybe it will not even be necessary to come to Kisii, because if we are able to, determine facts, well, at that time then you shall, if you are slaughtering a goat, then you shall have to go on the side of the Senate, because we cannot take a goat from the petitioners and until that this matter has been dealt with. I enjoy very legendary experience from Senator Moruma and the members who have been in the other committee, who have really been very helpful in ensuring that we are able to deal with some of these matters. Thank you very much for taking time to come to the Senate. Thank you very much for also taking advantage of Article 119 of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya to ensure that you seek justice. As a committee, we commit and we shall endeavor to ensure that we do justice to the residents of MWABUNDUSI, where you come from. When you go back home, please say hello to them. Tell them that we are committed to working to ensure that they get justice. Justice does not necessarily mean that they get land. Justice does not necessarily mean that they don't get land. Justice is to ensure that what belongs to them, if we are able to get the facts that this is a historical injustice, then we shall be able to correct and reverse that. It is to ensure that what belongs to the people of MWABUNDUSI, they will get it. That is what we endeavor as a committee to do. And because I share a committee with Senator ONYONKA, the committee on oversight, the Public Accounts Committee, I would want to say with a lot of confidence that you have a very good representative at the Senate. You have a person who has Kisii at heart. These colleagues will tell you that every time you see Senator ONYONKA on his feet, you know that there's something about Kisii. You rarely speak about Kenya, not having spoken about Kisii, even on matters that do not necessarily touch on Kisii. You know, I'll write on a statement on floods in Nyandarua, and the second sentence you say, you see, even in Kisii, then he rope in his own matters, because he really is very patriotic to his county. We learn a lot from him because he's also very, very experienced. Some of us are young and new legislators. This is my first time here. So we depend on the legendary experience of some of these good leaders who have come before us, because we also endeavor to be better than them at their age. So I want to end this and adjourn this meeting. The date of the next meeting shall be communicated.